what do you see with the Steelers' offense, and what is the solution to it?
Man, oh, you hit me with that question. Oh my goodness, what do I see with
Because
the
I know
offense?
you answer all of them. You never duck them.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. Before I answer this question, let me enlighten you on how discouraging I felt Sunday. And the reason why I felt discouraged on Sunday was I watched the Los Angeles Rams score 27 points against the San Francisco 49ers defense at home with a bunch of people who I would never draft on my fantasy team. How? When we couldn't get a first down until late in the second quarter against that same 49ers defense with nice surrounding talent on our offense. So there, for me, was the bigger question, what's the problem? And then, of course, I was at the game Monday night. I was there, heard the chants from the fans. I think we lack creativity, and for some reason, it seems like Kenny is not comfortable within the offense. I don't know. There's a lot to question about what's going wrong. There's too many questions and not enough answers. I think that's the bigger problem. We have too many questions. But at some point in time, we have to see more, because I understand our defense has been vulnerable to opposing teams' rushing attack. And they're going to get that in line. But even though they've been giving up yards against runners, they've been finding ways to create opportunities for them to be successful as well. So they're going to get it together. But for our offense, man, our offense got to get it. They got to come to the party, yo. And when you come to the party, bring a beverage, bring something. Right now, they haven't even gotten to the party. That's the problem. The party has started. They got an invite. They haven't showed up. But when you get there, bring something. Bring some plastic cups. Bring something. Because think about this, guys. In our 4-game window, right now we're 1-1. We're going to the Raiders, who's a very, very bad team. And this is going to be a big opportunity for Matt Canada to correct his wrongs against a defense that's not good. They're not good. Max Crosby and whoever else you want to mention in that conversation, but it's all about Max Crosby right now. So if our offense can generate a sense of confidence and points, now we will feel extremely optimistic about what we can do. Because after the Raiders, we have the lonely Texans. And they're not tanking, but they look like they're tanking because they're such a bad team. So in our 4-game stretch, we have an opportunity, even with the horrible Week 1 appearance, we have an opportunity to be 3-1. And I think if I was to ask you guys this question, what is the Pittsburgh Steelers record after the first 4 games? I think the consensus would say best case scenario probably would be 3-1. Right or wrong?
Right.
So even though it's been ugly, it's been a hard watch, we still have an opportunity to stack wins on top of wins. And after our 4-game window, we can be 3-1. But our offense they got to come to the party at some point in time, y'all, guys.
Bryant McFadden from the All Things Covered podcast. He's on the Nemacolin fan hotline. Nemacolin around every corner creates real-life magic for guests. The other big story, well, there's a couple others. Pickett is one. We'll get to him. But the other one is the running back situation, where we had Doug Whaley on today. I'm sure you know him. Doran Dickerson played in the league. They both believe, Doran was on his show this morning expressing that he thinks Jalen Warren is a better option than Najee Harris right now. And a lot of people nationally agree with that. Do you?
I mean, I got to be honest. And I'm answering this question based on watching 2 games of play. Heck, just go back to the preseason games. Warren comes in with juice. My nickname for Jalen Warren, I said this to Pat Pugh on our podcast. You remember, let me see if you guys really, I don't know if you watch basketball, but let me take it back to you to a basketball question, right? Basketball analogy, I'll say, for our listeners as well. Growing up in the late 80s, you had the Detroit Pistons, of course, right? You remember the Detroit Pistons, they had a guy who came off the bench. His name was Vinnie Johnson. You remember his nickname?
The microwave.
The microwave. Jalen Warren's nickname should be the microwave because he heats up fast. When he gets in the ball game, he's already heating up, right? Some players can be like a crock pot. It takes a long time for them to get going. So usually you see them surface in the fourth quarter. For us, Jalen Warren is the microwave. Jalen the Microwave Warren should be his nickname because instantly when he gets in, he's heating up, and we see it, we feel it. What we saw from him in a half where offensively we weren't doing anything was unbelievable individual efforts from Jalen.
So
And
you'd
he does
start
that
him?
when he catches
Would you
the
start him?
football. Boy, if we're talking about should he start, I think so. Would I start him in 3 weeks, just only having 2 ball games? I think that's not fair to Najee to really show that he shouldn't be started. But I think eventually, especially if our offense don't start generating some sense of consistency, eventually Jalen Warren will be in the lineup. And remember, they were already kind of telling us Jalen Warren would get more opportunities than he saw in year 1. That was the first telling sign. Because when you're a featured guy, usually the opportunities are not there when you're out of the ball game because you're tired, you need a break. They're bringing Jalen Warren in when Najee don't necessarily need a break. So that was the first telling sign. So would I start him week 3? No, I won't. Najee, let's go. Let's get it together because Najee see what's going on. He probably hear it, unfortunately, as well. But when you watch tape, you see it. When we watch the games, when 30 is in the game, he got juice, bruh. He got juice. He's fighting. He's a physical runner, the burst. That's the most unique thing I love about him, the burst. And we need every bit of that, especially when you look at how stagnant our offense has been.
All right, Brian, I know you've been a Pickett fan. You were a big Pickett fan last year. How much blame should he be taking for this offense? I mean, I just have a hard time believing it's all Canada. My eyes tell me Pickett isn't playing very well.
I agree with you. They're Canada, in this situation, these two guys go together like vegetable rice and soy sauce. They're together. They're a combo in regards to blame. Canada, because of the lack of creativity, he has yet to get his new iPhone update. I thought he had an update, but that update hasn't happened yet. He's still utilizing the iPhone 10. I think guys are utilizing the 14 or the 15, whatever it is. That's an issue. With Kenny, I don't think Kenny is seeing the football field well. I don't think he's seeing it well. Now, the question for us is why? Why? Like, is he told to go certain places with the football? I don't know. We don't know. But when we look at the tape, when we watch the games, when we look at the replays and we look at different plays, he's not really seeing the field well. Number one, for our offense, there should be a written rule that George Pickens has to see 10 targets in a ball game. I don't care. George Pickens is a player that he is better than the person he's going against. And I don't care if that is their number one corner. George Pickens is like that. George Pickens deserves the same attention that Justin Jefferson gets with Kirk Cousins, the same attention that Tyreek Hill gets with Tua Tagovailoa. You have to find a way to give him the football. So if they're not putting him in position to do so, it's up to Kenny to say, you know what, George, you win, I'm throwing you the ball. So there's a lot that's confusing about our offense, but even though we have these concerns, I know one thing I love about our fans, they're so passionate about the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they expect a certain standard of production, a certain standard of competing, and when they don't see that, they're going to voice their opinions. And for us, we feel like we should be seeing more, and that's the standard. And get this, our division is so wide open. Even though we've been playing bad ball, we still right where we need to be. Like I said, this 4-game stretch, if we walk out this 4-game stretch 3-1, everybody feels good.